Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at onpurposely.com.
I'm hoping that my voice is not distracting you today because I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, but you know what? It kind of matches what we're doing really well. This is God on the Go. I'm Julie Lyles-Carr. This is part of the Purposely Podcast Network, and we help you make the minutes matter. We're in a series on distractions, and today I want to talk about how we can get distracted with our time. Have you ever had that experience where you're doing something that's really fun, or you're scrolling through your phone, or you are watching a movie, or you're outside playing with your friends, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, hours and hours have passed, and now you're in trouble because you didn't get the things done you were supposed to because you got distracted about time. I love to read. I've always loved to read, even when I was really young. And my parents had a very strict bedtime for me when I was in elementary school. And I didn't like it because I wanted to be able to read. So let me tell you a little secret about what I did. I had a canopy bed. Do you know what a canopy bed is? It's where there are these poles that go up over your bed, and you can put like really pretty lace or a canopy over it. And there are just little pieces or slats of wood that go between so that it holds the fabric up there. Well, I figured out that I could get a small hand mirror from the bathroom, and I could hang it from one of those poles of my canopy bed, and light coming in from the street lamp right outside my bedroom window would go on to that mirror, and then it would beam down onto my pillow, and I could read my book. My parents told me I could not have the light on once I went to bed, and I didn't. I did not have the light on. But I did use the mirror and my canopy bed to get the light that I needed to read. And I would read and read and read, and I would read far into the night, really, really late. I would be completely distracted by having so much fun reading a book that when I finally would drop off to sleep, it would feel like in just moments, the alarm clock was going off for me to get up the next day for school. I got so distracted with my time. Jesus told a story, a parable, about 10 young women who were supposed to be bridesmaids or going to a wedding, and they were each carrying lamps. Now, 5 of them didn't get distracted by the time. They knew that night would be coming. They wanted to be ready with their lamps, and so they had everything they needed to make sure that their lamps would light up, and they were ready. And the other 5, well, you guessed it, they kind of lost track of time. They didn't make sure they had prepared everything that they needed to prepare. And in this story, Jesus said that because of that, the groom for the wedding came, and the 5 who had been paying attention to the time, well, they were ready, they were there. But the other 5, they weren't. What Jesus was teaching was that we need to be prepared and ready. We need to be aware of where we are in time so that when opportunities come, when God asks us to do something, we will be ready for it. Think about this verse from Psalm 90 and verse 12. It says, "Teach us to number our days so we can have a wise heart." Yeah, it takes a lot of wisdom to not get distracted when it comes to our time. Do you know when the first clock was invented? Well, it turns out it was about 3,000 years ago. The Egyptians had sundials that they could use to mark the movement of the sun across the sky, and that's how they knew what time of day it was. And they also had something called water clocks that helped them also see the passage of time. What is it for you that can easily get you distracted because you so enjoy doing the thing that you're doing? Maybe it's a video game. Maybe it's coloring or painting. Maybe it's being outside playing with your friends, or maybe it's when you go to the dance studio and you're rehearsing. Now, those things aren't bad things. It wasn't a bad thing for me to love to read so much. Where it gets complicated and where we have to be careful, where we need to not get distracted about our time, is when we're doing something that we enjoy so much that we forget about some of the other responsibilities, some of the people around us who might be expecting us to come home for dinner, when we let the thing that we love doing so much crowd out some of the other things that we also need to do. So that's my encouragement today. Do the stuff you love, but stay aware. Don't get distracted. Your time Your time is really important, and the way that you use your time is a way you can honor God, honor yourself, honor others. We don't want to waste time. We don't want to get so wrapped up in something that we miss something even more important. Time is one of the most precious things that God gives us while we live life on this earth, and we want to be wise and we want to use it well. Hey, I would love to send you some discussion questions, the memory verse, all that kind of stuff. You can get that when you text the word GO, that's G-O, to the number 89419. God on the Go is sponsored by George Fox University. At George Fox University, each student will be known personally, academically, and spiritually. I'll see you next week.